Good morning, everybody,
Good morning.
and welcome to RVTV on a horrible day in the Netherlands. And I can imagine it's probably a horrible day in England as well. How are you, Simon?
Yeah, I'm good, thanks, man. It is a horrible day, even though the sun's shining and it's like mid-June out there or something. It's a crappy day, isn't it? It's been a crappy year, isn't it? Really, let's be honest. There's not many highlights.
As I said, welcome to RVTV. Please like and subscribe if you're watching, and hit the bell thingy. I'm pretty sure if you do actually watch the program, you know what time we're on. Usually most Sundays. Okay, so with a heavy heart, let's go. Excuse for a football team versus Bournemouth. The lineup: Loris, 5 dickheads pretending to be footballers. Wavy hand pull out of tackle knob. Skip found out Swede. Danjuma came on for the liability in 72 minutes. Kane, Son, rest of the subs, who cares? Right.
What does that mean? Wave your hand, pull out of knob. What?
Well, that's a Højbjerg, isn't it? Waves his hands around a lot, pulls out of a lot of tackles, and basically does absolutely nothing. Okay, he had a good assist last week. Again, we were riding our luck then. Yesterday, yeah. Anyway, we had a good start.
Yeah.
And then it just, the next one, like a knife through butter. They seem to be able to cut through us so easily. I think Skip had a half decent game. Højbjerg was terrible. What can you say about the back five? Falling over, making stupid passes, nutmegging themselves. That's from, one of our substitutes. Talk to me. I'm speechless how bad we were.
Well, the thing is, we had a really good start, and Son was really, really good. He was, hungry for the ball as he always is, but he was actually making decent runs. He had that amazing kind of like shot. Even Perisic was great. He was making those balls right down on the far left wing. He done 2 or 3 of those really cool, cutting it in from on his left foot onto his right and crossing it in. Did like 2 or 3 decent crosses. Skip and Højbjerg were going around, just, troubleshooting, putting out fires, whatever you want to call it, as they usually do, which is, I think for Skip is kind of underplaying him, really. I think he's better than that. But he's forced to kind of put out fires, isn't he? Cooley was non-existent all game, I think. I thought he was coming back into his form the last couple of games. But today, I didn't even register. I forgot that he was playing, to be honest. Didn't even see his name or anything. And we made a decent start. Even Dyer, did a couple of decent stops and that. And I thought, well, here we go. Went 1-0 up, and it's like, here we go. Nice solid 3-0 win. And then when they scored, it was like a switch went off in all their heads, and just we couldn't do bugger all. We couldn't do anything. Like Perisic, those 2. I think there's 2 out of 10 crosses he did in that first half, and then he was just, I don't know what happened. Just everybody was like, "Oh right, okay, well, it's like they were like 4-0 down or something instead of 1-1. So, what the fuck's going on? Like everybody turned to shit.
Yeah.
Why?
I haven't got a clue. I thought even Romero, who usually looks pretty good, had an absolute shocker. Porro, Perisic, and obviously when Longley went off, Sanchez. That is possibly in the top 10 of the worst performances I have seen from Tottenham players, and I have seen a lot of shit performances. Porro, what the fuck was he doing?
The thing is, it's Sanchez's fault to begin with. I don't think Porro was expecting the ball. He was hugging the touchline there, right? And because Sanchez, when he got the ball, before he passed to Porro, because don't forget, Porro had like 3 Bournemouth players around him, and they got it off him. Simple as that. That's what always happens when 3 players surround you. Yeah. But Sanchez, when he got the ball just before he passed to him, had all the time in the world, but he let it kind of like dribble through behind his leg.
He
nutmegged himself. And then he just panicked and passed, out wide instead of forward. And then Porro's like, oh, right, okay, I'm going to try and take this out of here, but 3 players are surrounding me, so I don't think it's Porro's fault. I mean, I know a lot of people were booing Sanchez and stuff, but actually, let's give him his due. He did. I think he did amazing. He got an assist for a goal, and and he made other players play better. Because no fucker wanted to pass to him after that, so they were forced to lump it upfield instead of passing to him and doing that passing around the back thing.
Well,
so
I think
for him, that's a great game, isn't it?
This is the problem, though. As we said, he nutmegged himself. And why didn't he just clear the ball?
Why didn't he just play a simple pass forward?
Yeah.
Loads of space.
It's a problem that I've seen with Tottenham for so many years. They try and play themselves out of trouble. Yeah. Whereas, okay, you're going to lose the ball, but you lose the ball in their half if you boot it as hard as you can away from the danger area.
Yeah. The thing is, we used to be good at it. There was a time last season where, playing that across the line there, we used to be really good at it. Kane used to come deep, Son as well. Yeah. And it was a good way of not counter-attacking, but building up a very swift attack. Excuse me. And, it would lead to a chance. But for some reason, they can't do that now. I think we're too slow now. There's no sense of urgency or courage to kind of play that forward pass instead of the sideways ones to turn it into the days of yore where, we would turn it into like 6 passes and a chance or a goal.
Yeah.
And for some reason, they've got into that habit. They're doing it now, but it's just like, well, they've forgotten that they can't do it anymore for whatever reason. And I don't know whether they keep trying to do it or get it back, but it's clearly not working. And I think that comes down to the manager. It's like, you need to break that cycle because players will just do whatever they are told to do, and they've got habits and all that. And if manager's supposed to come in or the coach is supposed to come in and say, we're scrapping that. I've got a new way of getting us up the field, of getting us, there's loads of ways you can do it, but other teams have found us out, and we're half a yard behind every team we play, it seems now. So it just doesn't work. It's
amazing, isn't it? Going from a Champions League final, and it's just that ball twat.
You hear all the chanting. I really
desperate to sign a couple of look at me. Yeah, I've signed these 2 managers. They're some of the best, but you don't back them. So how do you expect them to? We knew that they were both checkbook managers.
Yeah. Well, we all did. He didn't.
Yeah, exactly. Absolutely pathetic. The booing of Davinson Sanchez. It was sad to see him on the touchline crying, or he definitely had tears in his eyes. But what can I say? He had a chance to move on last summer. He decided to stay because he's earning £60,000 a week or something like that. The guy is not good enough. He was found out at Ajax, and when we went in with a 50 million bid, I still have no clue who did the scouting on that. Yeah, we went in with a 50 or 42 million bid, I think it is, sorry. they were like, we'll buy a handoff for that. Nice one. Yeah, in fact, we'll drive in there.
Yeah.
And it's just because he is a decent player. There's a decent player in there.
Yeah, he's a Premier League player, isn't he? But
yeah, but there's something in his head that it doesn't work. If he doesn't get the first touch properly, it seems that, this is why I think it would be interesting to have a manager like Thomas Frank, who's got I think he's got a PhD or something in psychology. So, rather than just get yourself out there and, he sits down and he says, well, what's the problem? Why are you not doing this? Why are you not doing that? I'm still not sure that's going to work when Dr. Evil's in charge.
Yeah.
Sorry, Karen.
Well, it's the thing, like you're saying about booing and stuff. Like, I'm kind of on the fence when it comes to booing, whether you should, whether you shouldn't. I think there's the argument that says that you pay that amount of money that they charge to go and watch, then you're entitled to express your opinion, both positive and negative. If you're allowed to cheer and clap and all that, you should be allowed to boo. But there is that, and that's fine. But it doesn't do anybody any good. Certainly not Sanchez. It doesn't make him a better player. It doesn't, and now the crowd are going to think, those people in the crowd, I presume it's a minority, are going to think that, they influenced the decision to take him off. And if I was going to boo, it would be the decision to bring him on, not the player itself. Yeah. Because we've seen players in Sanchez's position come back as really good players and come out of that. So there's no point booing the player, but there is a point booing the manager. And I think I'd like to think that the booing was at the management decision to bring on Sanchez, because directly after that, and quite a lot of times after that, they were singing Pochettino.
Yeah.
So I think maybe the two are linked. I like to think so. And it was good to see, the people that do support Sanchez, family, friends, and teammates, and that clapping him when he sat down. But I do think, I don't know what you think, mate. I think it might be his last game for us, maybe.
No, I wouldn't have thought so, to be honest. I think that because we spent so much money on him, Levy is trying to wring every single last penny out of that performance. I would have, to be honest, I would have put Tanganga on in front of him,
or a midfielder or somebody positive,
Well, that is what he did when he took him off and put Danjuma on, and
well, exactly. Like we ended up with two at the back anyway, in the last 20 minutes or whatever. So instead of bringing Sanchez on, bring on. Just it baffles me. Like he's the fact that he's there and all Conte's stuff are there, just like it baffles me. It doesn't make a lot of sense, does it? Why is that guy there? I mean, we had a decent record under him when Conte went off for his operation, but he's Conte's right-hand man. Yeah. Why don't you just give it to Ryan Mason and then have Chris Powell as his number two? Excuse me. Sorry. and just, Chris Powell played for Charlton his whole life. He was a massive Tottenham fan his whole life as well. And Ryan Mason as well. We've supported that guy for so long. He's got Tottenham in his veins. He was a youth team player. Why not just give it to them? Why do you have to keep this guy? Because he's still going to play Conte's tactics, which we all know don't work. So we're in this shitty position because of that team of people, including Conte. Yeah. So it's just, if Levy could just stick to like one area of shit decisions, appointing managers, that'd be great. Just
trying to knock down Chit King.
We can't even fucking fire them properly, let alone hire them properly. Yeah. Just Jesus Christ.
Yeah. But I have to say, I think we've been had. Pedro Porro and Richarlison, 60 million. And yeah, Pedro Porro is he's only on loan. I don't know if we have a an obligation to buy him, but what he is not a defender.
Well, no,
you can't have someone like that with a wing back. You need to have someone who can also defend, or you need to have a centre back who can step in and defend when these guys are far up the field. I'm sorry, when you've got Davinson Sanchez, yeah, or I mean, was Longley playing on the right yesterday? I really don't. I don't remember. But when you've got Davinson Sanchez, he's not going to be able to cover for Porro when he goes forward. He hits so many crosses, yeah, into the box. What a Bournemouth play! They're used to that. They're used to the long ball coming in. They come from the Championship where long ball is used more often. You got to play it on the floor. You got to play it through the middle.
Yeah, well, the thing is, he's all right going forward. I think he's got he's him and Kulusevski on that right wing there would be a good combination if they're both on form, and you know, it'd be a devastating combination, I think. But they're not. So I think going back to Tanganga, Tanganga would be a good cover for Porro because he's got the pace to get there, I think. Yeah. Although he probably hasn't right now, but Tanganga on his normal form would be a good cover, but that's clearly not happened. So I think it's more Richarlison. I think Pedro Porro has contributed more already than Richarlison has.
Definitely, yeah.
And it's I just don't get it with Richarlison. Just no goals in the Premier League. That sitter yesterday, that's unforgivable. Like, you're in the Championship, you missed that. You're on the bench for the next half a dozen games. You know what I mean? Let alone Premier League. Yeah. Like, and I don't see anything apart from he's like a poor man's Paul Walsh. Do you know what I mean? Like, remember Paul Walsh? Where
that mullet.
Yeah. But Paul Walsh, like Richarlison, like, you couldn't mark him. There's no hope in marking him because he's always running around. He's so slippy and all that. He's so quick. No, but Paul Walsh had a mean finish on him, accurate, deadly, one of the best volleyers of the game. I don't see what else Richarlison's got apart from being, slippy, being unmarkable.
Yeah. Well, yeah, as you said, it was a sitter, but also Kane as well. That header that he had, I think it was in the first half or something.
I think that's much more difficult.
Yeah, probably.
Header.
Yeah.
I think
but from a player like him, you would expect him to at least hit the target.
We've seen him score harder ones than that. Yeah, absolutely. Definitely. Yeah. But that's the usual thing with Kane, though. Like, he always has one or two shots or headers or feet that go about 6 yards wide, and then it's like bang. It's like a couple of warm-ups and then bang, he's on target. He never misses. He can hit the next 20 and then all go on target. So that's to be expected. That was his one or two, I think. But what do we have? Like 20 odd shots, I think. Yeah. Like half a dozen of them on target at the most.
Yeah. Their goalkeeper played pretty well. But I mean, their winner, that was again Pedro Porro, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And Perisic slipping over. I mean, what the... Anyway. Nice weather. When I first got into football back in the early 80s, it was about enjoyment. It was about watching teams, go at each other, attack each other. Yeah, it might have been a lot of long ball there, but I enjoyed watching it. Over the last couple of years, it's not even the last couple of years. I think since Mourinho was here, I really have not enjoyed watching Tottenham.
Yeah.
Now, Tottenham is one of don't tell the missus, but it's probably my biggest love in my life. I used to follow them everywhere. I used to go home and away. Back in the Martin Jol era, and also into the Pochettino era, I was there every game in the Bel-Air or going up north, going wherever. And it's breaking my absolute heart that it has come to this. The running of the club by this so-called chairman, and I can't believe the amount of support that he still gets. We built a stadium. Oh yeah, look at how amazing it is. Yeah, I can have a drink at the longest bar in Europe. Who gives a fuck? I want to watch football. Yeah, I want to see our team play attacking Tottenham football. I don't want to watch some fucking Mourinho. I don't want to watch fucking Conte's. It's just like, oh yeah, he thinks, oh, they're great managers. They'll get a tune out of Eric Dyer. They'll get a tune out of Ben Davies. We're going to be world beaters. Oh, we fuck. We ain't going to do that. We are a fucking laughing stock. And I'm fucking sick of it. Absolutely fucking sick of it. Anyway.
Well, the only team
that needs to come out. I'm sorry about that, Simon.
It's all right.
Wasn't aimed at you, obviously.
Don't apologise. It's fine. I think the only team that's comparable to us, that's worse than us, is Everton. I was reading about their proposed new stadium, which is going to cost 270 million quid more than they first said it was going to cost. And look at them; they're in danger of going down. I mean, that's more of a laughing stock, if anything.
Because they've been one of the mainstays, haven't they? Isn't it them and Arsenal? We've never gone down.
Yeah, that's right. And it's just like they're worse than us, but we shouldn't be even anywhere near this position. You know, when you get to a Champions League final and like in the space of what seems like half an hour, we're at this, where we're struggling against bottom of the league teams. We're going out, we're whimpering out of things like the FA Cup. We can't even hold on to a lead. It's pathetic. And I mean, I'm glad I'm like 300 miles away from Tottenham Hotspur Stadium or whatever it's going to be, bloody Google Stadium. Because I'd be tempted to go and pay that money to go and watch them at home games, and it's just like, I'm glad I'm not doing that. I'm glad I'm not doing that.
But that's a really big dilemma. Thank you very much, Alan. Cheers for coming on. That's the thing. I have around about 240 quid in my Spurs bank account through selling tickets from on Ticket Exchange, and I can't take it out now because obviously it's season renewal time. So I'm looking at it and I'm thinking, bloody hell, yeah, it was 1,010 last year, but this year it will, because I've got some money back, it'll only be 700. Yeah, why not? Do you think we can actually turn this around under this under ENIC's tenureship? It seems that it's just gone downhill, and that the original plan all the time was to make us a place where they can do concerts, where they can do other sports, and we are a shit show. No, this show's brilliant, Alan. What are you talking about?
I tell you what, there's a lot of work to do over this summer, because I'm already done with the season, to be honest. There's a lot of work to do post-season, and obviously one major job is to get rid of the chairman. Let's say that doesn't happen because it's unlikely. Let's try and be optimistic, right? And let's say he doesn't appoint a checkbook manager and like a win now manager. Let's say he appoints Pochettino or the equivalent. You know, a project manager who wants to build up, is on a mission, you know, a long-term mission.
Don't want Pochettino back.
Well,
but in his last year, we didn't win away.
But that's the thing. I mean, Pochettino for me would have been from the moment Conte left until the end of the season, just from a psychological point of view. You know, boost the dressing room and finish a good solid fourth or even third, which would have happened, I think. I mean, you're right there, Alan. I think, you know, from a football point of view, it brings in hardly anything for ENIC. So yeah, they're more focused on everything else. But I don't think they'd prefer the football team to fold, Alan, because obviously that would harm their reputation. You know, how they're looked at, and that reputation would be more damaging. So I think that let's say he does bring in a Pochettino or equivalent manager. I think Thomas Frank is a great shout, by the way. Let's say he brings in someone like Thomas Frank. You've got a massive job with that team, like short term and long term. You've got to have a clear out. You've got people like, and I would say Richarlison in this as well, people that are clearly just going to be like getting paid shed loads of money for doing naffle, and they're quite happy to sit on the bench. Sanchez, Dyer's got to go. He's just got to go. A lot of people talk about it's because he's been there for so many years. There's lots of players there that have been there so many years. Well, that's not the case. Son's been there for 10 years, and he played brilliant yesterday. You know, he hasn't lost it like a lot of Spurs fans play. Yeah. He's just up and down in form this season. You know, we've seen the flashes of brilliance from him. I think he's still going to go on and score another half a dozen, 5 or 6 goals for the rest of the season. So, and he's been there, you know, almost as long. It's not about time. It's about the decisions they make on the pitch. You know, it's decisions that the players make that really affect their teams. And there's a world of difference between Kane, who in the last 10 minutes was coming deep, wanting the ball, give me the ball, let's go. And like Dyer and Longley earlier on, and Porro and all that. Romero and all that, where they just get the ball from Lloris and they choose to just stand there or walk along with the ball, and there's no like courage or urgency. Whoever comes in as manager, that's the biggest thing they've got to do is clear out about 6 or 7 players out of that team, and at the same time bring people in. But maybe that's what Sean Munn is all about, bringing players in. And
I think I have a feeling that they want to start an episode of Australian rules football in London, because you know how many Australians go to London. They used to call Earl's Court Kangaroo Valley or whatever. So yeah, they'd be like, "Oh, nice one, we can go up to Tottenham," and then obviously he's buying all the property around there so he can rent it to them while they're there. And it's just the football is. There's nothing. He doesn't care about the fucking football. All he cares about is raking in the millions. I think he is actually London's Donald Trump.
Yeah.
Yeah. It just, Scholar wasn't great. Alan Sugar wasn't great, but they did actually care a little bit about the football. This guy is just into gentrifying Tottenham, making as much money as he can. And if he can sell for what he wants, he'll be out of there and won't give a flying fuck. I want someone who actually cares about our football team. It's not going to happen. Look at Chelsea. Look at fucking Newcastle. All it is about, oh, look at us, how great we are. Yeah, there's no one who actually cares about football anymore when you're an owner, because it's such big money. back in the days, yeah, it wasn't such big money. You had a lot of trouble. There was the hooligans, etc., etc. Yeah. So they were actually in it for the love of the football. And I'd love to go back to those days. But anyway, nice to see you, Eugene. I shall hopefully be tuning in later with Mr. K. I haven't seen him in absolute ages. And Alan, I completely agree with you. It's all about the concerts. It's all about the boxing. It's nothing to do with football anymore.
Go-karting, NFL. What else is he going to fucking bring in?
Yeah, who knows? Anything else that makes the dollar. Eugene, you want to pop on? The link is at the top. Alan, if you want to pop on as well, because otherwise I think I'm going to wrap it up because, yeah, I'm going to burst the blood vessel in a minute. Two born winners have failed under Levy. Who would want to come to it? Yeah, very good question.
Well, the thing is, Alan, I think it's
a challenge.
I think we're attractive for a manager, or is actually what we need, which is like a long-term project manager. You know, I think we're attractive to that now. Like, imagine you're like one of those managers, and you think that's a whole, like, it's almost like a clean slate, if you like, ignoring the whole Levy kind of thing of it. Like, it would be like, can I do this without, you know, without the financial side of it? Can I sort this team out as is and bring in, you know, half a dozen, you know, players that aren't the best in the world, but we can mold into something better, you know, like a Modric, you know, that kind of thing.
Exactly. Yeah. This is
still attractive. It is still attractive. It's just finding the right person. And I think that's why Sean Munn has come in as director of football, or whatever he's called. I think there's a logical thing there with Postecoglou in Australia. And I think that's the way Levy's looking at it. And hopefully he is. Hopefully someone's given him a slap on his bald head and said, you know, this is the guy that you want. And also this is the guy to get to the guy that you want to get him in. And that's Sean Munn. So maybe, hopefully, I'm an optimist. Hopefully that's what's been happening. And that's what will happen, you know, post-season. Maybe. I
used to be an optimist. Not so much anymore. Maybe it's because I'm old and grumpy now. But yeah, he only wants 4 spot, which I think is very true. It's just it's all about the money. I'd kind of be happy if we actually drop out of the Europa League, the Europa Conference League. It's only about the money anyway. There's no fucking point in being in it, actually trying to compete, because they don't care. They're like, oh no, we need to get top 4. Oh, we're in a Europa League, the second round. Oh yeah, let's not even bother. Why? Some of my most glorious nights. Okay, yeah, I was 8 years old when we won the the UEFA Cup. But also we were a cup team. You know, it was maybe around about the 84, 82, 83, 84. We were close to winning the league. Also back in Poch's era, a couple of times we looked very close. But we are specifically a cup team.
Yeah.
And to not give the respect to even the League Cup and the FA Cup, I think it's not the football I grew up with. It's not the team that I grew up with. But Levy just doesn't seem to care. It's all about top 4, top 4, top 4, top 4. Then I get some money in, and I can buy some more property, gentrify Tottenham, lovely jubbly. I'll be mayor in a couple of years.
Yeah, maybe it's that. And I think you're right. Like, it's
very true. Very true.
And that's the thing. Generally, I don't have a problem with chairmen and owners getting involved in the football side of things, you know, to a certain extent. Like, look at my hometown team, right? Wycombe Wanderers, right? They're bought by an American family, the Coohigs, and they're brilliant business people.
Yeah.
A whole family-run business. And, Wycombe Wanderers are now in the best position they've ever been in their entire history.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you what happened Thursday. I watched a video of the chief financial officer at the training ground having a penalty competition with the first choice goalkeeper. He had a penalty competition. He lost, obviously, to Max Drake, the goalkeeper. And then, like the TV guy Phil, he literally, as he was changing his boots back on, putting his boots back on, he's asking him about like the postseason transfer signings. How's it going on the business side of things and on money side? And he's given like you would expect from a chief financial officer, while he's got this training top on and getting changed and stuff after having a penalty shootout. That's what you want. A management team, ownership team that love the club, that get involved, and support the manager. Yeah, they're there to support the fucking manager, not the other way around. We're not here just to facilitate you fucking making money and sticking everything in the stadium except football. Yeah, we're not here to give you headlines. Come and bring your bizarre non-football related business to the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium because, look, we were in a Champions League final long time ago.
Completely.
We were top four. We're a top four Premiership side. That's what he wants it for. Like you were saying, Alan. Just for the headlines, so you can put together that dossier and present it to freaking hell who's left. They'll probably have like Formula One racing there now next season.
Yeah.
That kind of thing. And it's like, just fuck off.
Yeah.
Just fuck off. And I think you touched on it earlier, Jens. I think for a reset, for a Levy to be out, because he's obviously not going to, he might bow into the pressure of the chanting, which was really good to see on more than one occasion yesterday. I heard all the Levy out chanting. Yeah. I think you touched on it earlier where we need to come down to like an 8th or 9th position in the league and have that pressure on Levy to say, you can't say that we're a top 4 any side to all your business mates and all that. And you've failed as a chairman. I think ENIC need to see him as a failure in order to get him out. And that's for me, that's the only way I can see that happening is for us to finish 10th or whatever. But
that's the thing. Uncle Joe and Levy seem like they're the best of friends. So until Uncle Joe, this is a bit harsh, but until he passes away, Levy's still going to be there.
Well, I mean, we don't know, do we? Like, we see that all the time, even pre-Premier League days, chairmen and managers and business owners all being busy mates and all that. And then next week, they're gone. And it's the old cliche of like the chairman or the manager they put a statement out saying has the full support of the club, and it's just like, right, okay, so he's gone next week then. Yeah.
But that's what Alan is saying. Levy can make himself bloody manager, may as well. I think that's what he wants, isn't it? He wants to. It just. How can I say this without being heightist? Yeah, he's got severe little man syndrome, that guy. I think he needs to be in charge of everything. You have other owners who are like, okay, yeah, I'm going to buy this club, then I'll get a chief executive and a chairman, and they can decide what happens. I'm just going to sit there and enjoy it. I've got all these millions. I enjoy watching football. I enjoy my team winning stuff. Whereas Levy, it seems this all or nothing. I know that was a while ago, but it seems that he's always, that Danny Rose interview. Right, I'm going to go and see Daniel. What the fuck? Why are the players going to see the fucking chairman? Yeah? The players talk to the manager.
What's he said for that to be an option for him? Like, if Mourinho pisses you off, you can come and have a chat with me, mate. No.
It was. It was. Mourinho said, "I don't think that you're this, that, and the other." And Danny Rose turned around and said, "Oh well, I'm going to go and talk to Daniel then." And it's like, why? This guy is obviously living out his childhood dream of being a fucking hero, and he ain't. He's a very rich man, and he's done very well for himself, and fucking muzzle tough, mate. But yeah, you're not a football manager. You don't know fucking football. You know business. Keep your fucking oar out. Speak to the people who know about football, and then we might be successful, or we might actually win a cup. A fucking league cup would be nice. I'd take a fucking Peace Cup or an Audi Cup now as well. It just bloody winds me up.
Is it too late to get into the Johnson's Paint Trophy?
The under-23s were in there and they were shit, as they have been the whole year. Under-21, sorry.
The thing is, we need to win. I mean, I favour the FA Cup anyway, because, again, being a Wycombe Wanderers fan, we've got a rich history in that. But I think the FA Cup is so much more important than the league at this stage for us, because the reason we're not winning trophies is because we need to win one in order for that to happen. We don't know. We're not in the habit of winning trophies, therefore we don't win them. So we need to break that cycle by winning one. So, like, the FA Cup being my favourite, but it's also the competition, which means that you are, more than any other competition, you are literally the best in the country, because anybody can enter the FA Cup. You know, it's not like the Premier League. And you know, if in the Premier League, even if you win the Premier League, you've been beaten at least once that season by teams that are supposedly below you, and that's not the same with the FA Cup. So once we win the FA Cup, and it's again, go back to the psychological thing. You know, we win a trophy, and we have all that great run up to leading up to that final and winning that trophy. Psychologically, that's massive. Yeah. And that has an effect on the league. It has a knock-on effect on the league. You start playing better in the league. Yeah. You know, even if, you know, you put out a slightly weaker team, as managers fucking winds me up, but that is their want. It's still, the players that play in the Premier League on a Saturday, it has an effect on them. You know, our guys that, you know, just got to the final of the FA Cup, that's great. Everybody's buzzing. I'm going to go out there myself. I'm Harry Kane and just remember, or I'm Son. I'm going to remember how fucking good I am, because I want to play in that final, you know, in the FA Cup. And then we go and win 4-0 in the league. You know, it has a knock-on effect on the league. It shouldn't be the other way around. You know, it shouldn't be like, oh, we're just going to totally focus on the league, so we're going to put out, you know, 2 players that normally play in the first team. And, you know, that's it. And then we will win out the FA Cup. But yeah, that's what it is, Alan. That's what it is, Alan. It comes down to money at the end of the day.
It's good in the earlier rounds. If we get someone in the lower leagues, then yeah, it's good to blood some of the youngsters, even just have them in the squad, just have them on the bench. But yeah, as you say, as it gets, you know, further on against Sheffield United, completely changed the team. Why?
Yeah.
Play the first team, go 2-0 up, and then you can make substitutions.
Yeah.
Then you can rest some of them.
And even then, gradually, you know.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I'd just also like to say, very, very big Tottenham fan passed away yesterday, or this morning. His name's Alf Love. I think he was in his 70s or something like that. Every home game, every away game for God knows how long. And so I'd just like to say rest in peace, Alf. I'm sorry to see that your passing has coincided with a terrible period in Tottenham's history. But love you for your support, and take care of yourself. Right, Simon, I'm going to head off now, because I think I'm going to have a cardiac arrest in a minute. I've been so angry today. So do you have anything to plug? Your boys went out of the basketball last week, didn't they?
Yeah, Teesside Lions got beaten in the quarter-final by London Lions.
Okay.
It was it just came down to accuracy on the day. You know, we're kind of levelly matched teams, but their shots went in, ours didn't. Simple as that. But it's fine because we're still champions of the league, still undefeated in the league season. So we've got specially made jerseys that say that as well. You know, league champions 2023, same as last year. So we go marching on. It's nice to be involved with at least one winning team.
Well, you never know. Your children may say it, or your children's children, and a father's 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 father. Sorry, that was a quote from Life of Brian. Anyway, mate, have a lovely week.
You too, mate.
Come on, you Spurs, Levy out. I absolutely despise Tottenham at the moment.
Come on, you Spurs.
Take care.